By now, you must have probably heard of Pep Guardiola's 3-4-2-1 tactic. Let's go a little deeper into this tactic and its certain intricacies. The 3-4-2-1 formation is actually a 4-3-3 formation wherein certain players occupies a certain position on the pitch during the build-up and attacking phase. As Manchester City builds up from the back, Ederson can distribute the ball to either the centre-backs or the full-backs. During build-up, one of the centre-backs, usually John Stones, moves into midfield to support the build-up play of Manchester City. This solves two problems for Pep: defensive solidity in the middle, and creating overloads in midfield. In Football Manager 23, it is currently impossible to fully recreate this tactic as positional play is not yet available in-game. However, certain player positions and instructions can be set to copy some aspects of the tactic, and let me show you how. First, choose the create your own tactic and set your players on a standard 4-3-3. Then you will want to set your tactic to positive. You can choose attacking, but positive is what will recreate 3-2-4-1 better. During possession you can go for very narrow or fairly narrow, then work the ball into the box. I prefer the whipped crosses, but you can also abuse Haaland since he is a monster and set your crosses to float. Also set to underlap. Since this is a possession tactic, shorter passing is a must, but the tempo should be fast. Also, it is important that you instruct your players to be more disciplined. During transitions, when possession is lost, you can choose counter press or regroup. I chose neither. I chose to counter when possession has been won. As you have a good sweeper keeper in Ederson, you can instruct him to distribute quickly to your center-backs and full-backs to recreate the building up from the back. You have good ball player defenders in Ruben Dias and John Stones. Also, you have a good left-back in Nathan Ake and Kyle Walker as your right-back. Defensive instructions are the following. Very high line, step up more, trap outside. This will instruct your players to pressure in the opponent's half and spring pressing traps usually on the wings. You can choose to trap inside, but as you want to be defensively solid in the middle, you don't want your two defensive midfielders to buzz, so you'd want your guys on the wings to press. As for position-specific instructions, for defense you want your two fullbacks on defend duty and instruct them to sit narrower but with instructions to run wide with the ball. This will make them run wide when there is an opportunity. As for the center-backs, you want the left-sided to be on cover duty while the right-sided on stopper duty. The left center-back will hold position while the right-sided will be pushing up with the dribble more duty. The right-sided center-back will be your John Stones mold player. Someone who will push up to midfield during building up and support your regista. But when possession is lost will fall back to create a solid back four. As for your midfield three, I've put players to better explain their roles. First is Rodri. While he is better suited for a more defensive role, in Pep's tactic he usually supports the attack just ahead of John Stones but stays deep. Next is you have the box-to-box role where Mateo Kovacic plays. This role used to be played by Ilkay Gundogan, but since he's left on a free, Man City bought Kovacic to fill in this role he left. This will balance your attack and defense. Last is the Mezzala role on attack. This is usually filled in by Kevin De Bruyne but is also deputized by Bernardo Silva. He is your primary playmaker. The Mezzala likes to sit in between the half spaces and ping passes and crosses to the final third. Last is your forward line. First you have Haaland on complete forward role on attack. What you want from your center forward is to not only lead the line but also drop in and support the build-up. That is why complete forward suits this role best. Then you have two wingers as inverted wingers with one on support and one on attack. You want them to stay wider to keep the width of your formation and attack the byline but also cut in whenever they can and combine with the midfield. Although your formation is narrow, the wingers will stretch your opponents by attacking the byline to leave space for your center forward and midfielders to attack by either crossing or cutting back to a midfielder that is arriving late in the box. In concept, your build-up leading to attack will look like this. This is the 3-2-4-1 that forms in the final third of the opponent. Since positional play is not yet available in the current game, you can only somewhat achieve this but not entirely. Using this as a standard tactic is not advisable as the game engine cannot implement the defensive solidarity the 4-2-3-1 formation has. Having no fullbacks will leave your wide areas exposed, leading to your team shipping goals. I will show you now how this tactic plays in the game. This is how the fullbacks work. They help in build-up but not as adventurous like how attacking fullbacks work. Given the space they will push forward with the ball and support attacking movements but do not go attack the byline. Here, you can see how the center-back pairing works. John Stones will push up to help the build-up while Ruben Dias stays back and covers him and the other fullback ducks in beside him. As you can see, it is not a like-for-like copy as the tactic is limited by the game engine. As when in the final third John Stones pushes up ahead of Dias and not beside him. Now we look at the forward line. We can see that in build-up the wingers stay wide to create space for the center forward and the mezzala creating a flat four during build-up. What this does is it keeps the opposition stretch in defense. Only during attack that the tactic shows the overloading and spacing required to create isolations and overloads. A sample goal. Now watch as how many players flood the box while John Stones cover for Rodri. A simple cutback from Haaland finds Foden for a goal. The end. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.